So there's a couple different things that we're going to talk about today. I've kind of narrowed this down to just the football piece of it. I've got a whole nother leadership course that we'll talk about when dealing with the quarterbacks too. So that'll be a separate course that we're going to talk about. So this piece here is nothing but the football portion where we're talking about, how you teach your quarterback to recognize fronts, coverages, how he can have an understanding of certain routes versus coverages, certain run game checks, things of that nature. So a couple kids that I've coached the last couple of years. I've been a high school coach for 6 years now. This is Darion Kendrick, who he won his 2 state titles as a quarterback. He is at Clemson now playing corner. Greg Ruff here, he's a short guy. He won his 2 state titles also. He played at Newberry and just graduated. Was able to coach in the U.S. Army All-American game. This is Sam Howell, who started every game as a true freshman at North Carolina this year. Graham Mertz, who signed at Wisconsin, he redshirted. And then Leah Tua Agalavoa, who's Tua's younger brother. He just transferred to Maryland from Alabama. There's those 2 kids again. And then this is Spencer Rattler, who he's at Oklahoma now. He's probably going to start as a redshirt freshman this year at Oklahoma. Let's talk about the vertical integration piece of the quarterback position. The big thing is I want to try to have 2 to 4 quarterbacks on each team. Okay, we have a middle school team, we have a 9th grade team, we have a JV team, and a varsity team. Some teams don't have a 9th or JV; they combine the 2. So we're lucky enough to where we actually have a 9th grade, a JV, and a varsity team. My big thing is I want to teach as many kids how to play quarterback as possible. All right, I want to teach. If there's anybody in our program that could potentially be a quarterback, we want to teach them the quarterback position. Right now with the COVID stuff, we're doing a lot of classroom stuff. We're doing a lot of walkthrough stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff on the board. But typically, after the football season from like January to April, we're going to live 4 days a week and throw 2 days a week. If you have a football class during the day, you can take them out and work them out during the day, and it doesn't interfere with the second sport. Obviously, you got your spring practice. June to August, we're going to live 4 days a week, and we're going to throw 2 days a week with 7-on-7s. And then obviously we play the December football season. But I'm a big believer that, there's going to be one voice when you're coaching the quarterback, and that's me. I've always been the guy I'm the only guy speaking or coaching the quarterback. I don't want another position coach giving feedback to the quarterback when he doesn't exactly know what's going on. So I think that's something that's really important, is that quarterback hears one voice from the quarterback coach or the coordinator. Let's go on to the next one here, and let's shift gears and talk about coverage identification for the quarterback. Okay, there's 2 things that you have to understand at quarterback position. The number one thing that we talk about is they've got to be able to determine whether the middle of the field of the defense is open or the middle of the field is closed, okay? And what it looks like is when you're a quarterback, you have to have tunnel vision, and you have to do what we call hard focus, and they have to hard focus through the Mike linebacker to both safeties, okay? So when you talk to your quarterbacks, you always want to talk to them about hard focus, tunnel vision, the mic to both safeties, because the safety structure, whether it's middle field open or middle field closed, will tell you what the coverage is, okay? And then once you take it a step further, the cornerback access tells you exactly what the coverage is. So the first 2 things we talk about is middle of the field open, middle of the field closed. So when the middle of the field open, that means that the middle of the field is open, and you usually are getting some type of split safety look, whether it's two high safeties in quarters coverage, cover 2, 2-man, or cover 0, where there's no safeties in center field and the middle of the field's wide open. Okay, middle of the field closed means there's a safety in center field, 1 high safety. That could be 3 robber, 3 cloud, 1 robber. And then you also get some combination coverages, which could be, a middle field open scenario where you have a coverage to one side and then a different coverage to the other side. So, for example, you could have quarters to the field and 2 into the boundary, or vice versa. And then from there, we talk to our quarterback about cornerback technique, okay? For example, there are three type of accesses or cornerback techniques that we talk about. The first one is open access, and that means that, the corner is 6 to 8 to 10 yards off of the receiver, and they're zone turning or they're bailing out of there, and they're giving you grass or open access free release. Closed access is when you're getting like cover 2, and now he's not playing man, but he's impeding or disrupting the release of number 1 at 5 to 6 yards and playing like a cover 2 corner. And then, of course, you're getting press access, which is man free. Now it's press. That means he's disrupting the free release and he's up in your face playing man coverage. Okay. Then you've got what's called the safety techniques, where you can determine the coverage by how the safeties are playing it. Okay. So there's a couple different type of safety techniques we talk about. You get a read safety or hover safety. That's when you're getting like middle of the field open and both safeties are hanging on number 2 and they're kind of flat foot reading. Q and 1/2 safety is when the safeties are playing a half field technique, and they're getting off the hash. And then, of course, you're getting like a drop or a rotation safety where your safeties are dropping over the number 2 receiver or the number 3 receiver, and then they're rotating. So the cool thing about this is it all ties together. And once you teach your quarterbacks, okay, when you're watching film with your quarterbacks, the first thing you should always do, and when you're trying to teach them coverages, is you ask them, hey, middle field open, middle field closed. That's the question you always ask them, okay? And then from there, all right, then they can determine, okay, well, what type of safety technique is it? Coach, he's a hover safety, or he's a Q and 1/2 safety. All right, well, most of the time when you're getting, let me go back here. When you're getting like a hover safety or a read safety, chances are you're going to get open access because it's going to be quarters coverage, okay? Whereas if you're getting like a Q and 1/2 safety where the safety gets off the hash and he crossover runs, you're probably going to get closed access cover 2, whereas now you get rotation safety and maybe they rotate play 1 high. It could be man or it could be cover 3. So when you watch film, you really want to look at the safeties to determine what the coverage is. The safeties are going to tell you everything. And then from there, you can determine, okay, well, the corner access or corner technique tells you the final coverage. So they could be in 2 high, they could be in 1 high, they could be in 0. There's a bunch of different things you can do. But reading coverage from tunnel vision the mic, hard focus the safeties, determine if it's middle field open, middle field closed, and then cornerback access tells you exactly what the coverage is. Okay. When we teach our quarterbacks, we always identify the coverage from the offensive strength and the coverage ID. So, for example, if we're in a trips formation and they're playing quarters to the trips, but they're playing cover 2 into the boundary, that would be cover 42. Okay. Let's say they're playing 2 to the trips, 4 into the boundary, it would be cover 24. Okay. If they want to start dropping safeties, it would be 3 drop strong, 3 drop weak, just depending on where they drop to the formation. Okay, and it's really, really simple once you teach that. All right, so here's kind of some drawings of just old school cover 3 here. You can see right here, you've got open access, okay, outside thirds in cover 3. And that's the other thing too, is being a former defensive coach. I have a really good understanding of kind of pass responsibility and coverage responsibility. So the quarterback has to understand that in cover 3, okay, the corners are going to have outside third technique, okay? The field is divided into thirds, okay? So they know that pre-snap, center field closed, it's either going to be cover 1 or it's going to be cover 3, or it could be like a robber deal, just depending on what the other safety does. But this is old school cover 3. They're lining up in it. So the quarterback knows, hey, I got center field closed. It's 1 high safety. I got open access over here, okay? The second coverage is quarters coverage. Some teams call it cover 8. You can call it cover 4, or you can call it cover 8. The reason I call it cover 8 is because you've got cover 4 on each side, and it ties into the combo coverages where you get 4 to one side, 2 to the other side. It would be like 42. So in quarters coverage, you're going to get middle of the field open, okay, just like we talked about either. So in quarters coverage, you're getting open access, hover safety. So in quarters coverage, the safeties are going to slow pedal straight back and hang on to the number 2 receiver. Whereas in cover 2, they're going to cross over run and get off the hash. Okay, so that's middle of the field closed, middle of the field open, cover 3, quarters coverage. Here are the coverage zones. So when you're teaching your quarterback, you talk to him about, okay, what does the linebacker have in cover 2? Well, he's going to be a seam curl player, because in cover 2, the hard corner has the flats. Okay, whereas if it's cover 3, then the linebacker is going to be seam curl flat, because the flat area is voided in cover 3. Then the Mike may jump over the hook. So when you're talking to your quarterback about coverage zones and coverages, then you can identify and have your quarterback understand, well, in cover 3, what area is voided? Obviously the flats. You got the seams you can attack. So based on the coverages, you can determine what areas of the defense the linebackers are voiding to attack the defense. Okay, here's cover 2 coverage zones. So now you're getting, cover 2, you're getting your safeties as the outside half or Q1.5 safety players. You're getting your flat. Now they're seam curl, and then you got your Mike on the hole. So again, when your quarterback is drawing up cover 2, or he's recognizing cover 2, he'll be able to determine, okay, well, if we're in a 2-by-2 set, then the linebackers are going to hang on to. You got a corner play in the flat. You got the outside half safety technique. Well, now your grass is in the middle of the field and right in the windows between the seam curl player and the Mike. Okay, so it's really important that they understand the responsibilities of the linebackers and the safeties in the corner, so they know where to attack.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with All Access Coaching, where we're all about coaches helping coaches. Thanks for watching the video, and I've got to ask, please hit the subscribe and like button below. The like button really helps us with valuable data as to what videos to make and upload in the future to help you out. And the subscribe button will notify you when we upload new content to the channel. This channel is not specific to an offense or a defense. It's not even specific to Rick Stewart. I fly over the country filming college coaches and state championship coaches about their offenses, about their drills, about practices, about defense, about program building, team building, fundraising, and weight training. It's all about coaches helping coaches. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe and like below. And as always, better today, but never as good as tomorrow.